Okay, so we'll go to the calibration process for the 3D printers on Pronterface. So to start, first make sure you turn on the printer, connected, and then we have to connect here with the correct COM port and use the correct baud rate, which is 250,000. Then connect. Then down here to the right, we'll see the console. If you don't have the console, there's this arrow over here which hides it, so make sure you just unhide it. You can resize it. It may be too small, so just resize it to whatever you feel comfortable. And once it's connected, something I found out that I was actually I was having trouble with. If the board has an older firmware, and then you reflash a newer one, and that older firmware had some different values, like it has a different printer height set, you might actually be using the old values even though you have the new firmware. So to prevent that from happening, what we want to do is send two commands. The first one is M502 down here, so just click enter. What that does is it loads the values and variables from the actual that new code, and it overwrites any saved values from any other firmware or any past, even in the same firmware, any changes that you did manually to the G code. So it just loads default values from the new firmware. So once you loaded those values, you need to save them. So just go. So that's M502 to load them, then M500. So M500 to save them. So once that's that, so now it's saved the default values into a printer. So now it's using all default. It's set into the Marlin code, everything default. So now after you do that, to make sure everything is using the correct data, what we have to do is home the printer. Send it to home so it knows the distances and where it is at the moment, so it can actually move. So there's two ways you can accomplish this. One is clicking this home button to the left. That will home the printer. Or if you want to type in the G-code commands, the G-code to home the printer is G28. So G28. Enter, and it will do the same as if you clicked this button, the house button. And now we'll just home the printer will go up to the limit switches, and then it will go slightly down to a height where I can move freely without hitting the limit switches. So once it's homed, the next command we're gonna use, or before we use the command, let's just go down, all the way down. You can use this Z command here. You can just use this to go all the way down. Just keep clicking -10, and it'll keep going down. Or another way you can do this. This is used to move anywhere in the printer. So G1 or G0 is the command to move the printer. So you have to G1 space, want to move the Z-axis all the way down. Z0. So that moves the printer all the way down. And this moves the printer all the way down to the value that is specified on the Marlin, the printer height the Marlin has. So I specified a value quite like a bit higher than the print bed, so we didn't hit the print surface or table, or so it doesn't smash into anything by accident. So this is as far down as the printer is going to let you go down. That way there's just no collisions with the default settings. And now that we're all the way down, what we'll want to do is start the calibration. So you home it with G28 and you start the calibration with G29. So you send the command G29 up to G. So G29, enter. Now this will send the printer to the first probing point. So what you want to do after that is only change the z-axis. No, don't change the x or y axis, only the z-axis. So go down to the bed. Yes, I use either 1, or if it's too far, just use 10. Just be careful not to go too far down. Before you move the z-axis, it was limited to the software height that I had set. But now that we're calibrating, it removes those limits. So if you go down, you just keep going down, it will actually smash into the print surface and printer table. So just keep going down as far as you can. So yes, be careful on how far down you move. So yes, keep going down into a print surface, just one by one, or one. Let's click 10 once, not too many times. So just get close to the print surface. Once you're close, use the regular paper test. Just get a piece of paper, put it below the nozzle, and start moving by 0.1 increments, like this. Yes, until it's close to the paper, and you got it to the desired height and tension. Make sure it's not too tight or not too loose. So just keep moving by 0.1 until you got what you want. Then once you got it to the correct height, you just move to the next point, and it will save that height for that location. So now you send the G-code command again, G29. You just keep sending the same command over and over until it's finished. So we sent G29, so you don't have to type it again. You just click send to the right. So click send again, and it will go to the next probing point, and it will go to the same height that it had set in the last point. So yes, it might be okay without any adjustments, but if there are some adjustments, just the same test with the paper. If it's too loose, just make it closer by doing z minus. If it's too tight, just go up slightly with z.1 until you got to the desired height, and just click G29 again. We'll go to the next point and adjust height again with the paper, and I just keep doing it again. And then once in the next point, do that again. Just keep repeating this until it's done. Just send command, adjust height, then send command, adjust height. So we're to the next one. We just height slightly. So send command. Okay. So now just height again, then send command again, and this is it. So as you can see down below, it says grid probing done. Be linear level in grid, so it tells you the data that it actually has. While the calibration is done and it got these values, it is actually not saved on the printer. So you turn off the printer and turn it on again, this will be lost. So what you want to do is save it into the EEPROM. How you do that is you use the same command we used before to save all the data, which is M500. So this will save any changes or any new values or variables that we changed, and the calibration actually changed other variables for the code. So this M500 make sure it saves all the calibration data, and once you reboot the printer, it will keep these settings. So that's it. I mean, the printer is calibrated. So before we went to Z0, before the calibration, it was quite a bit higher than the print surface. But now using this calibration, it will, once we go to Z0, G1, Z0, oh, it's not typing, G1, Z0, when you go to that location, it should be on the print surface. It will go down further than it used to before now, if the calibration is on. And if you're having problems with the calibration, or you think it's maybe not being enabled, or you guys want to check to make sure it's enabled, the command you can use to do that is M420 space V. This command M420 is used to get the status and the calibration, and also to turn it on or off. So to get the status, you send M420 space V. That will tell you whether it's on or off. So we send that. It gives us the calibration data, and it tells us bed doubling on. So if for some reason we want to turn it off, what you can do is do M420 space S. Then this is a Boolean value. So you can either give it a 0 or a 1. A 0 means off, a 1 means on. Since right now it's on, let's turn it off. So you put M420 S space S0. I don't even think you have to do space, but it says I just keep doing that. It's because I'm used to it. So let's go M420 space S0. Now you can see bed leveling off to make sure. Let's do M420V to get the status. Bed leveling off. It has the data, but it's not using it. So I want to turn it back on. We can do M420 space S1, and that should turn it back on. Went to double check. M420 space V. Bed leveling on. And that's it. That should get the printer properly leveled. And just to do a quick run by for the commands and things you have to do is if the printer has had a different firmware before and it hasn't been cleared the last data from the last firmware, just make sure you do the command M500, M502, so this actually loads the data that is hard coded into the code. Whatever you write into the modeling code, this is going to load this data. Then do the M500 after it's loaded, and it will stay default. So it will pretty much reset the printer to whatever the default is. And after that, you use home of the printer, G28, or you can go to the little home here to the left. So G28, after G28, you do G29. Let's do G29. You can go to 1 point. You change the height. Get to the print surface, change the height. Let's keep going to different points. Once you are the correct, once you finish in the different points and you finish the calibration, to save it, just do M500. So G28, G29, and M500, and that's it. And there you go. M500. And all this data is wrong, by the way, but it's just for the sake of doing the process. And there you go. So M500. And okay.